Good morning, Vietnam and America. It's like fucking Eric Cartman.
I thought you were trying to do Cartman.
Okay, I literally, like, before we started up, before I got online here, I had YouTube videos of Bob Dylan up, and I was like, okay, what does Bob Dylan sound like?
You're so dedicated.
I'm so up in my head about this, though. I'm like Tiger Woods. Like, I'm just fucking slicing it into the rough because I can't stop thinking about how much I suck at this.
It doesn't help the environment I pre-planned to leave you flapping in the wind there.
I actually, you know what's funny is, like, as soon as I saw you guys not talking, I was like, this is how it is. At two Bean.
Yep, at me.
The cruelest cut of all from your own sister.
Dude, we were on the Mediocre Team thread right before this, and faithful listener and wonderful soon-to-be mom for the second time, Martha Jane Armitage Bag, was like, you guys are giving Oak such a complex. And I was like, no, we're not. And then you just talked about it.
Complex. That's okay. Yeah. I don't mind. You know, I feel like at this point in my life, like, I've had so many complexes that, like, I don't even get that worked up about it anymore. Like,
it's just funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's something else to work on.
Like, I have the same thing about bowling. Like, I really want to be good at bowling, and I want to be good so bad that I throw gutter balls, like, over and over and over and over again until it's, like, spirals out of control.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting.
That's how I got to get kickball. I just wanted to be so good at it so badly that I was just so bad at it because I cared so much.
Yeah, you just get up in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I like in it too? You know when you have to write like a birthday card or a greeting card, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do my best penmanship here. All that pressure, and it looks like you wrote it with your non-dominant hand, which was asleep.
My problem is that if I'm thinking really hard about forming nice-looking penmanship, I misspell things like in insane ways. Like, I can leave out like blocks of 3 letters from, like, words.
Yeah, I'll like switch all the words around so that it seems like a serial killer wrote it.
Yeah, I can't write things by hand, and it's, you know what? At this point, can I do my shut the fuck up early?
Yes.
Okay. Please, with the fucking forms that you have to fill out, like, at the doctor's office, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is 2015. Like, the technology that's available to us for, like, data entry and, like, data collection is fucking limitless. You can do things in a myriad ways for fucking cheap. Any asshole can code up, like, a web form to, like, get some text. And still, we have to photocopy the repeatedly photocopied forms for me to, like, fill in these little tiny boxes to describe shit about myself that I filled in half a dozen times already, the same fucking information for the same place, and yet still I have to fucking get out my pen, try to remember how to write, because I don't write shit, and, like, I don't remember how to write, and then I have to use my, like, sketchy, like, half cursive, half, like, print fucking penmanship to try to fill in this form. It's totally illegible. It's no good for fucking anybody, and it's just a bunch of fucking extra work for everybody involved. Like, I don't understand why you don't just send me a link to a webpage and let me fucking. I have a button on my browser that will autofill all this same information with one click. So fucking goddamn it, what are we doing?
Why is there paper anymore at all?
I hate it so much. It's so fucking inefficient. It drives me insane.
Yeah. I agree.
And now you got to fill it out for another person too, until she's 18.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
You get tell Leah to fill her own goddamn forms.
I'm going to.
If she can walk around the house carrying 3 remote controls at once, she can fucking fill out her own goddamn
forms. I'm never
forms.
even going to learn how to write.
Never.
Her signature is just going to be her taking one of her watermelon scraper and punching a hole through any form.
Her watermelon scraper.
She's just going to, like, stuff the paper in her mouth and.
Yeah, just make the sound until everyone's like, fine, you don't have to fucking fill out this form.
And then she's going to realize that it tastes awful, and she's going to make a face about it, and then she's going to want cheese.
She loves cheese.
Loves cheese.
You know, the best was the other day she was just smacking her fucking guns together, eating a cheese stick, just destroying it. And I went to go, like, surreptitiously take a video of her while she was doing it. She knew exactly what was going on and started eating like a total lady. I was like, what the fuck? You're not even a year old. How do you know how to do this? It was really awesome.
Dude, her ability to fucking sow chaos is like the stuff of legend. She's 11 months old. We got her like a big fancy new toy box with like drawers and like containers and all this stuff to put all her toys away. This morning, she figured out how to open it and completely disemboweled it. And threw everything all over the place. And like now the room is completely covered in toys, even worse than it was before, and there's a big Twinkie box in the middle.
It's just amazing to me that this baby has stood up and is walking around and doing stuff now, and like making grown-up faces. It's really weird. She really doesn't seem like she should be walking.
You know, also what I've realized is that how quickly and easily I've slid into like talking about my kid as if anybody gives a fuck.
Yeah, I do it too.
You know, just without like not even. It's so easy. Like, it just seems like the most fucking amazing thing in the world, and yet I've often reflected how boring it is to listen to people talk about their kid as if they're the most amazing thing in the world, but I had no problem making the transition.
But everything that everyone talks about is fucking boring.
That's
at
true.
least babies are like do stupid things and like poop all the time. Like, at least Leah has that.
That's true.
If you think about it, most conversations, and you're not... You probably didn't notice this before you became a dad, but most conversations are about other people that are not in the conversation. So it's like, oh, my friend did this. Oh, someone did this. It's never about really what.
I was like, that's a really effective phrase.
Yeah. Oh, that was
that's
the real phrase.
That's a real phrase. Wait, there. I saw his face move.
Was I frozen?
You were totally frozen.
I was like, wow. Bizzle,
Unless
that's
you were
good.
Unless you were pantomiming, in which case it was unbelievable.
It was really
you
good.
guys were paying me back for the silent Bob this morning because neither of you moved.
God, there's no trust anymore. No honor among thieves. We always think we're just poking each other.
This is like a game of Settlers of Catan.
I didn't know what Settlers of Catan was or is, but this girl that works for me on my team, she is a huge fan, and she like did this amazing job with a project last month, and I just ordered a Settlers of Catan extension pack because I assumed it was like you can always use an extension pack. And I had no fucking idea what I ordered. She faked excitement when she opened it. She's like, "Thanks."
You need extra resource cards and like game board pieces, so you can play more than 4 people.
Oh. Does she actually have the game?
Yeah, apparently she has a bunch of them. She was nerding out with someone in the office, talking about all the different sets that she has. And then when she left, I asked that guy, I said, I want to get her something to thank her, so, which one do you recommend? And he goes, oh, man, and he got, so excited. He's like, get her this one, get her this one. I was like, you sure she doesn't have it? And he goes, well, even if she does, it's an extension pack, so it's good. And I was like, all right. It makes no sense. I don't understand any of these board games. What the fuck ever happened to Sorry?
And who the fuck has time to play board games? I mean, sorry, but I have to get up 2 hours before everything to do everything. Who has time to play board games? Do you guys play board games?
No. Remember Monopoly? You would start playing it, and then you wouldn't finish in time. You'd be so tired, so you would just leave the whole board with the houses spread out and the money somewhere, so it wouldn't get.
You know why? Because Monopoly's not fun.
It's not.
It's not fun. We've convinced ourselves in this shared delusion that Monopoly's fun, but it isn't. Nobody feels good playing Monopoly. Yeah. You just one person feels a little less bad than everyone else, but it's not fun. And also, it's totally random. You don't make any decisions. You just roll the dice, and then you move your guy, and then you buy whatever you land on, and then that's it.
I will tell you, I hated Monopoly for the longest time because I hated the stress of counting money and banking and all that shit. And all the white dollar bills, you never wanted those. You just wanted the orange 100s.
Right.
And I got Monopoly when I got my iPad a few years ago. I bought the Monopoly app for it. It's so much better on an iPad because everything is just automatic. You get every time you pass go, you get another $200. There's no fucking dealer, and that's the part that I hate because I'm horrible with finances.
Yeah, man, that's the idea of Monopoly gives me anxiety because it makes me think about fucking finance.
Byram, do you play Monopoly on your iPad with other humans?
I haven't actually played it in a while. When I downloaded it the first time, I played a lot. I actually would go I'd like bring my iPad to like restaurants and we would play like Monopoly while we waited for our food and stuff.
Really?
I can't believe I just said that.
I can't believe you did either.
What is happening to me?
A little bit sad.
That was a couple of years ago. I've matured.
Dudes, we had a bit of a break from the pod because one of our numbers is injured.
Oh, yeah. So, well, it wasn't really so much the injury that caused our break. It was the cascading failure that stems from an injury in my life now. So, like, everything is on-time delivery, like, in my house. Like, all the pieces have to be, like, moving in the right order for everything to work. And when I, like, am too hurt to, like, pick up the baby or drive, it just everything, like, comes to a screeching, tumbling halt. So, I popped a rib at jiu-jitsu last week, which apparently is like you move a rib into the wrong place and like you like kind of dislocate it, but all the like cartilage around it gets all gross. And anyway, so it's better this week. It feels better. It still hurts a lot. Like I can't like roll around, but anyway, like the day after, like I couldn't like bend down or like pick up Leah or like really drive safely. So Amy had to like figure out how to go into work late to like take the baby to daycare, and just the whole day like just it's like a tractor trailer jackknifing and spilling cantaloupes all over the freeway. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would actually be pretty awesome. But one of the cantaloupes like caromed through the windshield of a car and like hit a lady in the mouth, and she was on her way to do a heart transplant that didn't happen, and then so the kid had to keep his heart that he didn't like, and
bummer.
And he tweeted about it, and then this like hashtag started trending, and it was hashtag heart sucks.
Hashtag elective heart surgery.
Right, and then
I don't like this heart. I want another one.
Right. And then it started
trending. I
trending.
was born with the wrong heart, so I feel like.
And then everyone started like identifying as like being a cardiovascular like transplant patient.
Right.
And since you can't deny things that people say,
right,
you can do whatever you want.
My whole life,
everyone was lining up for heart transplants, and it's just anyway. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Stemming from what I thought was like fairly mild injury.
Do you remember like when the injury happened? Are you pissed at the guy?
No, it wasn't his fault. It was not his fault. It basically came from the fact that he weighs 100 pounds more than I do, and like he was kicking the shit out of me, and he just like flipped me over and like landed on me, and I just like it was like the sound of like knuckles cracking, or like the sound of like that sound like when you take a turkey leg and you like rip the like drumstick off the wing and you hear like the cartilage like crackling.
Where the
it was like
joint
that
snaps.
sound. Yeah. And it was very scary because I was like, oh my god, my ribs went into my lung, and I was quite alarmed. And my coach was like, shut up, you popped a rib. It's happened to me like 6 times.
You thought you were completely fine. You're like, I got this, I'm fine. And then you smiled, and your teeth were covered in blood.
Yeah.
Coughing up blood.
Right. And then I collapsed, and then I woke up, and I was having elective heart surgery. I said, no, that's not what I want. And they said, oh, sorry, it's been a big thing lately, so we figured everybody wanted it.
And Leah's standing over your body, pounding on your chest, going, Dad, you're laying on my remote.
They needed her to sign the do not resuscitate waiver, and so she just slammed her head into the pad to give her mark.
She just scratches her watermelon tooth on the paper.
In cursive.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how the whole thing went. So, anyway, the upshot of this whole story is that lost in this jackknifing cantaloupe truck of a morning was the pilot. And I feel like I owe the listener an apology. I'm very sorry for depriving you of this mediocre podcast, which you've for some reason convinced yourself to listen to.
Yeah. Why people have their reactions.
I will probably do it again in the future, capriciously, because I'm irresponsible.
On the other side, props.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. What else has been going on? Bizzle saw me do live stand-up comedy.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was a good night.
Bean said you said you're gonna get a show that starts before midnight, so I can come.
Yes, I will. I definitely
Well, this one is at 7:30 on Sundays.
Well, D. Suarez said that that show is canceled now.
What?
Yeah, apparently the club owner saw how well D. Sweezy was doing it, and he stole the space, and now he's going to do a weekly booked show there instead, and he's going to charge people for tickets.
Wow.
Yeah, D. Sweezy did his job way too good, and now this fucking crooked club owner is taking.
Hold on, I think the listener is confused. So what's the backstory here?
Okay, so David Suarez is this hilarious, awesome dude that Byram knows from Upright Citizens Brigade. And he had arranged this show at the Greenwich Comedy Club, and that is the show that Byram's having perform in. And he has I think it's a company called New Comic All Stars, or like an organization, and he has a show with like 10 like newish comics, and he doesn't charge anybody for entry, but it's like this awesome space, and he got a really great crowd there last Sunday. And so I was looking forward to always kind of having that show to perform in. But the club owner saw how well the show did, and basically told David that he can't do the show there anymore because now now the club owner is going to have a weekly book show there. So David's figuring other stuff out. He's got a show. I think he's going to start doing something at the New York Comedy Club. And then he did something on last Tuesday night at the Thunder Jacksons. So he's on the grind. He's on the hustle. We'll figure it out.
Word.
Yeah.
All right.
The show Liz performed in, though, it was like it started off mediocre at best. I mean, there were a lot of pity laughs from the audience. Like, there were people up there who you would swear have never been in a position to tell a joke before, but they just came in from the street and they're like, fuck it, I'm going to grab this mic. And then Liz got on, and it wasn't just our table of Liz's friends laughing. It was like the entire room just like roared.
It was one of those things where I don't know what everyone was laughing about. There were a couple times when I was like, what? Is there something behind me? I don't understand what's happening right now. It's really weird.
Also, Liz went from an arts and crafts hour in Brooklyn to comedy hour in the West Village.
Yeah.
And she had paint all over her legs and just like stormed up on stage and was like, nobody asked me about the paint on my legs. And then the whole audience just like erupted in laughter.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not fucking talking about it. That's how I've been opening up shows, like noting some like bizarre aspect of my appearance, and then I'm not fucking talking about it.
I bet.
Yeah.
But there were literally people who went up after her who I didn't even know if they were speaking English. Like, we were just sitting there dumbfounded. It must have been terrifying to follow what because nobody got the laughs you got before you went up. And then people went up after, and I was like, I don't know if I'm at a funeral or if I'm at a comedy show.
Dude, whatever was happening at that comedy club was like the best thing I've ever seen. I did a comedy show a couple months ago in Boston to an audience of one guy sleeping on the floor. So, like that, it couldn't really possibly get worse. I did a show, it was at a hostel, and there were people like sitting in the like common area of the hostel, and as I was talking, I watched them stand up and go stand outside, and it was like raining outside. It was so bad.
With hair dryers and other electric devices. They're like,
yeah,
we'll stand
exactly.
out here for rain.
I'm like, guys, it's snowing outside. You can come back in. I'll stop talking, I promise. I had a really bad. I went to an open mic last night at this place. I've decided it's going to be my new self-punishing open mic that I do on Tuesday nights. But it's at a place called the Five Spot. I think it's in like Clinton Hill or something. And by the time it was like I got there at like 8:45 and then got up on stage at like 12:45. By the time I got up there, it was like 3 old black dudes, and like people were like, "Shut up! You're stupid! It's like don't talk anymore." I was like, I just want to get this.
You started a doo-wop band?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, fuck it, let's do this.
What about this one? What about this joke about the bus?
They're like, it's 12:45 open mic night. We just want to sit here quietly in peace. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing our crossword puzzles.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so it was great. Good times.
I can't hear my iPod over your voice of your comedy.
And this is the show that last week last week, the NBA Finals were projected onto my body. That was so. At least there was no like basketball game being projected onto me this time, but
Which was great because you were wearing like a Lakers jersey dress,
Yeah,
high top sneakers, and big
Always.
earrings. So
it
it
was
just made cool.
so perfect. I'm not even. Were the Lakers even playing? I don't know.
No, that's the color scheme that I imagined you in.
It was more like the Miami or the Jazz. The Jazz is my favorite
Utah
color scheme.
Jazz.
Yeah, Utah Jazz.
Is the Jazz team still in Utah?
I think
I
so.
read a
But
sports course on it.
isn't music illegal in Utah? I don't understand why they're called the Jazz.
Didn't they move from like New Orleans or something?
Oh.
I don't know.
Still weird.
I don't.
Also,
know.
why are the Lakers called the Lakers? They don't have any water in California.
Yeah, I think because they came from someplace where there is water.
No. I think they should change the names of basketball teams when they move from one place to another.
Right.
They should
They
be called
do
the LA Deserts.
They do sometimes. Like the Houston Oilers, which makes sense because there's oil in Houston, became the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, that's good. There's no-
Houston's not in Tennessee though. Who makes these decisions?
We should be.
There are Titans in Tennessee. They're like mountain people who are giants.
I don't follow sports at all, but when they had the NBA Finals and people were talking about the Golden State Warriors, I thought it was like a college team. I was like,
I thought the Golden State Warriors was a college team too.
yeah, because who did they played Cleveland Cavaliers, right?
I guess so.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Got your Invisaligns in, boo?
Yeah, but I also thought like Marley Matlin. No. Friend of the
So
podcast,
in
Marley
1960, the Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles.
Oh.
So isn't Minnesota like the land of 1,000 lakes?
That's also the storyline behind Brandon and Brenda Walsh. They moved from Minneapolis to LA.
Whoa.
A little
Coincidence?
90210 trivia for y'all.
And
Coincidence?
the Jazz were indeed began in New Orleans.
I don't know.
They moved to Utah.
Yeah, because there can't be jazz in Utah. There are no black people in Utah.
And dancing is verboten.
Dancing is verboten.
I made that up.
I think it's true. I watched that Kevin Bacon movie. That's like definitely in Utah.
Totally.
Footloose.
Odds.
I just finished season 3 of Orange Is the New Black.
Oh,
I heard this season is bad.
I'm on season 1.
Season 1 and 2 were great. Season 2, I remember being like, all right, this is a bit much. This whole like fucking V storyline is just dragging out. Season 3 was kind of like this podcast. It was a ton of noise. It didn't really get you anywhere. Like you watched it and you're like, I don't know where this is going, and I don't know. I feel like I could pick any episode and it didn't matter what happened previously. There was no like thread that sewed it all together.
Good sewing thing.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
I don't know what that meant.
I think that was well.
I'm not even
That was very
drunk,
well.
I'm fasting, so I'm like drunk on hunger.
Oh, you are? I
Parchness.
hate it when you fast.
Why are you fasting? For religious reasons or for?
Yeah.
Ramadana.
Oh, is it?
Rabadiza.
Fucking Ramadan.
Yeah.
Ramadan is like the Puerto Rican Day parade. It's supposed to be only one time a year, but it feels like it's like 6 times a year.
It's true.
Hey.
Is that racist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hate Ramadan because it means that I know that you're not
Guys,
drinking.
can we tone down the hating? And
I just hate Muslims because... No, I don't like it because you can't drink.
I know.
It makes me so mad. I like to know that somewhere
Through.
we're under the same sky, we're both drinking, but I know that.
I know, but think about how much better August will be when I'm all gaunt.
You're already gaunt.
When I like sneeze and my shoulders touch. I'm like one of those. Remember those toys where you would like whip the things around and the balls would like be on separate triangles and they'd smack together?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You know what I want to look like? You know those toys that you like press the bottom and then the legs like crumple? That's how thin I want to be. I want to look like one of those crumpling, squishy doll toys.
I love those toys.
I do
As
too.
soon as this podcast is over, I'm checking out Amazon to see if I can
Yeah.
find one.
Buy some crumple toys, or like one of those the like guys that stand out in front of car dealerships.
Yeah.
What is
The
up?
ones
I don't.
like they're wearing like palazzo pants.
Yes.
Like big, billowy, like silk chamoose.
I
Is
love
chamoose
it.
a word?
Charmeuse.
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 Chamois. What's framboise?
That's French for raspberry
Ah.
or strawberry. I don't know.
What I don't. So is it? Do you think that skinny thing is always going to be a thing?
Yeah.
Like wanting to be skinny and wanting to like not weigh very much?
Not when the zombies come, because nobody's gonna have any food, and then anybody who's fat is gonna be a status symbol.
Because like Amy and I were having this conversation the other day, and she's like, we were talking about like getting back in shape, and she was saying how she feels like she's doing good, getting back in shape and everything. She's like, I still don't like what the scale says, and I was like, you go to CrossFit like several times a week, and you do like powerlifting exercises meant to increase muscle mass and like and physical power. You do realize that that adds body weight. She's like, I know, but it's a girl thing. And I was like, that is the most insensible like thing I've heard in a really long time. I was like, that like gaining weight with what you're doing is good. It makes you stronger, and this is what you want. And she's like, yeah, still. I don't feel good when I look at the scale.
Thing. I feel like over the past couple of years I've given up on I think my body is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, therefore it's like the right size. My body's fine. This is what size it's supposed to be, it works. But the other day I got on the scale and I had gained 5 pounds. I've actually been trying to gain weight because I want to fill out my clothes better, but I got on the scale and it was 5 pounds more than it was the last time I weighed myself, and I inadvertently didn't eat anything for that entire day. I just was like, look, I'm not going to eat anything. And it just was this involuntary reaction to seeing the scale being up 5 pounds, even though I kind of wanted it to be up 5 pounds. And then I got on the scale the next day. I drank a bunch of Starbucks coffee, painted the town brown, and the next day I got on the scale and it was 3 pounds down. It was weird.
My oldest brother's a personal trainer, and I told him that this was last year when I started going to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in 7 or 8 months. But he asked me what I do at the gym, and I was like, oh, I do the elliptical, and then I do the treadmill, and blah, blah, blah. I said, but I want to be careful. He goes, do you do any weights? I said, yeah, I'd started to kind of do the bench pressing and shit like that, whatever it's called, which I don't do really well because I'm listening to Bette Midler when I'm pressing.
It's hard to do bench presses in an Hervé Leger dress with long.
You know my trials and tribulations.
I know.
So I told my brother that I don't like doing the elliptical or the treadmill at an incline because I don't want to build legs because I have very big calf muscles. And he goes, that's not going to make you... He goes, do you know what it takes to build muscle? The fact that you're walking on an incline, don't worry about, fucking building the mass in your legs. It's going to take a lot more than what you're doing.
Dude, that's I've definitely heard people be like, well, I'm afraid I'll get too big. Seriously? You are in no danger of, accident. You're not going to, wake up in the morning and go, oh, my God, my pecs. Oh, my God. Oh, look at me. Oh, Jesus Christ. I should be in the NFL. It's not ever going to happen.
Yeah.
It takes a specialized diet and an incredible amount of effort.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I'm not someone who wants to be muscular or I want to be very thin. I want to look, I don't know if you guys have seen The Normal Heart, but I want to look like Matt Bomer at the end of The Normal Heart.
Is he dying of AIDS or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a skeleton.
Yeah, I just pictured what I know that you want to look like, and I pictured someone who's definitely dying of AIDS.
No lesions, but I would
Of course.
I would look like I'm dying of AIDS.
Maybe lesions under your hair.
Yeah, ones you can't really see.
Yeah.
Or ones I can be like, hey, check this out.
I just want to be the type of person who can curl up in an airplane seat, like listener of the pod, Jen Savage. That's the size of person. I want to be so small that I'm comfortable in any chair, basically.
That's small. That's pretty small.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. They should make chairs bigger. That's all I'm saying. Really. But until that day comes, I'm just gonna try and make myself really small. But really, I don't necessarily. I thought I didn't care what this scale said, but I mean, to Amy's point there, it's like it's weird. It's like this weird thing that's like implanted in our brains that makes us think that we want to weigh less than we do.
Did I tell you guys I went to a gym class called City Row?
Mm-mm.
So it's you get on a rowing machine, which I had seen in gyms before but never really used. And one of my like a consultant for my company, he invests in this class City Row, and it costs $32 for an hour class, which is ridiculous. I guess SoulCycle costs the same, and SoulCycle is really big.
And bar method too. That shit costs like $35.
So he foot the bill for like 5 or 6 of us to go to check it out, and I was challenged to go, so I was like, I'll do this. And I was like, I got in there and I got on the rowing machine, and I was like, this isn't so bad at all because I actually have very strong legs. I have zero upper body strength, but I have like massive amounts of lower body strength, and I'm not just talking about my shitting capabilities. So I get on there, and I'm like, oh, this is so easy. This is great, whatever. And I started sweating. And what they do is in between rowing sessions, you have to get out of the rowing machine, which is a task in itself because you have to like unstrap your shoes from the fucking pedals, and you have to do shit like burpees and push-ups and weightlifting. It's like a solid hour of a non-stop like row for 5 minutes, get up, do burpees, and I honestly thought I was gonna die.
That sounds really good for you.
That's the stuff that Amy does at CrossFit.
Yeah, but Amy is healthy and in great shape. She's birthed a child. She can deal with that stuff. My body's not meant to do that. And it's funny because the class was between 13th and 14th Street, and I park on 15th. And literally walking up to 15th, I felt like, when your legs fall asleep and you're starting to get circulation back in them and you feel like you're going to fall over? That's how I was walking. I was like, I'm in no position to operate machinery right now. But when Ramadan's over, I'm going to try it again. Because I did the whole class. I mean, like, I was definitely doing girl push-ups, and the instructor called me out. She asked what my name was. I guess when the class started, she goes, what's your name? And I told her, because she probably was preparing herself to call me out on a ton of shit. And she's like, Byram, real push-ups. And I was like, these are real. I can't do...
They're real for someone.
Yeah.
I don't like that whole yelling at you to do real push-ups because I think it's more effective to do like more sets of a modified push-up than do like one or two like fucked up, like quote-unquote real push-ups.
I mean, the thing is like you will develop the ability, you know what I mean? Like you do make a lot of progress like trying to develop a push-up. Like it's the same thing with like pull-ups. Like they're really hard, but they do two things. They let you know like where you are strength-wise and where you are like power to weight ratio-wise. And it's worth trying to do them even if you can't. Just because like getting to one is a good feeling, and then getting to more is a good feeling, and it's a good to check where you're at. I mean, for a regular workout, I think doing a modified push-up is fine, but I think it's worth continuing to try to like develop push-up form.
To all our listeners, you also want to make sure that you have strong beams in your ceiling before you get time to pull up.
Yeah.
You don't want all these roofs collapsing.
Right, or don't grab like your pipe to your toilet.
Wait, is it roofs or roofs?
Roofs.
It's a great
Right?
Roofs.
ROOFs. There's no such thing as roofs.
Oh.
I think it's ROOFs. Roofs. Roofs sounds better though, and much more Dutch.
Yeah.
So, according to Grammarist, roofs versus roofs. Roofs is the plural of roof in all varieties of English. Roofs is an old secondary form, and it still appears occasionally by analogy with other irregular plurals such as hooves, but it is not common enough to be considered standard.
Wow.
So you could say roofs if you wanted to.
Yes, but it's not technically grammatically accepted.
Ah,
Irregular plurals would be like a really good garage band name for us.
I concur. a regular. Fill out your form on the computer.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Fill out your form on the computer.
Fill out your form on the computer. Don't make me print it out. I don't have a printer, guys. I have to
Don't
go to
make me
Kinko's.
write it. I struggle.
Don't make me write it. I won't print it.
The struggle is real. Can I do my pick?
Yes.
So I'm tweeting this out right now. So I was listening to a podcast that it really made me feel good.
Oh.
It's a podcast I've recommended before called Dan Carlin's Common Sense. It's just the guy's like an old radio host who's like sort of become a podcaster. He's like one of the most popular podcasters. His show Common Sense is about like current affairs and politics and stuff. And he has his latest episode is called Sitting Down with Sam. I just tweeted out the link from the Commenting in Sideways page, and it's a conversation between two guys that have very different political philosophies, and they are having like a thoughtful, informed discussion about opposing political ideologies, which is something you fucking never hear. You never hear. And like, it's funny because when you listen to it, you will realize, holy shit, you never hear this. Like, people talking about politics and being polite to each other, even though they have differing opinions and are like in separate tribes from a political standpoint, they're polite.
Yeah.
They concede well-made points. They they learn from each other. They discuss things in like a thoughtful, intellectual manner. They don't go after each other personally. It's like a great conversation between two people who respect each other. And it's like I was just blown away. But what it really like sunk home for me is how we just don't see this anywhere else. Like every conversation, like think about your like Facebook feed or like any news program you watch, and think about when people discuss, have conversations with people of differing political ideologies. Are we not just like calling each other idiots or communists or whatever? Like everything you hear from your liberal or democratic friends about Republicans is basically how stupid they are and like how backward, like hillbilly hicks they are, and like everything you hear from your Republican friends about Democrats is equally like vitriolic and ugly. There's no conversation, and it's so fucking stupid. Not to mention the fact that the whole thing's a fucking scam to keep us from paying attention to what's really going on. But conspiracy theories aside, it's sad and fucking ugly. And this podcast really make me feel like there are some people out there that are having like thoughtful conversations, and we should be listening and participating and keeping it positive and not participating in retweeting this fucking bullshit hostile clickbait about how stupid somebody with a different political opinion is. So listen to this podcast. I beseech you. You will be glad that you did. It's very interesting and very cool, and it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Our podcast, right?
What's that?
You're talking about our podcast.
I listen to our podcast. I mean, the depth and breadth of intellectual discourse that you will find on this podcast is matched by none other. I think that this podcast, a lot of it is included in the presidential daily briefing.
Yeah,
exactly. I think Obama wants to know what we're talking about, and you know.
I think the bottom line is just well-informed, respectful discourse. I think what we're putting in here.
Thoughtful, and obviously a lot of preparation went into this.
Totally.
We don't just send a text message around and like randomly pick a time to like jump on a Google Hangout and talk shit. Like
that's not professional.
That's not what we do here.
No, that's not. It's not. This is our fucking careers.
Yeah.
Our lives.
Yeah, this is all I do except for everything else that I do.
Right, exactly.
We invoke the spirit of Bob Dylan when we take this over every morning.
Yes. Sometimes Cartman, though.
Not every morning.
We don't just make whatever sound come out of our mouth.
Right. We don't spend minutes of the podcast pretending to be frozen.
Right. We don't do that stuff because that would violate the listener's trust.
Exactly.
The listener trusts us to come correct with hard-hitting analysis of current events.
They come to us for the information that they need. She does. That one.
And if you took a bunch of acid and started staring at a flower, you would look like what Bizzle looks like right now.
Oh, God. It's fake, I can tell.
No, it
fake.
isn't. It's real. I think he's frozen in real life. Like I think he's stroked out.
Oh, me
and
too.
He's just like frozen.
That's
Imagine
it,
if Byram just froze,
What if
and
this
like
is
the
the
paramedics came, and he had like that like waxy inflexibility, and they just started like
and
manipulating
they like
him.
picked him up. They had to like peel him out of his chair.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And they had to like bring him through the doorway and down like a tight set of stairs, and they were like, "Pivot,
Right.
pivot."
Jaws of life! Get the jaws of life in here! We need to
They
get
had to
this kid out of
stand him on his end to get him around the corner to get
Right.
down the flight of stairs, and then they went down the flight of stairs.
But as soon as they get by the Converse store, he's like, wait a second, I need a pair of Converse. And he like comes back to life. This is dedication to one's craft.
I
That's
know.
what we're seeing.
You know what
Good,
makes
right?
you-
I am
Yeah,
so
that was
proud of
good.
myself.
That was
That
a really
was
good
A
one.
solid 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What if they came to pick me up and they were like, "Oh fuck, he's gonna be really heavy," but then I'm like, I feel like super hollow.
Oh, you know what?
I feel like a light bulb. They're like,
Right.
"There's no way this guy should be this hollow."
You're like, it's a new
Like a chocolate
Hollywood
bunny?
diet. I've been going and just getting my insides hollowed out. Instead of exercising your diet, I just get a little bit of each of my internal organs removed every day.
My pick of the week is this past weekend I went to the Del Close Marathon. Del Close is considered like one of the fathers of improv. He was the guy who trained Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, John Belushi, which is the unfunny one. Yeah, I don't like Jim. John Belushi was the funny one. Albanian, by the way. Right?
The Belushis are?
No
Yeah,
way.
100%. Yeah. Anyway, Del Close was like one of the founders of improv, and he was responsible for like all these people who went on and did Saturday Night Live and started UCB, and so for the past 17 years they've done a Del Close Marathon, which is like 72 hours of nonstop improv shows. So literally at 3 a.m. this past weekend, you could have gone and seen an improv show at one of them at one of the UCB theaters.
Oh.
They had a few premium shows, which are the ones that I checked out. On Friday night, I went to go see Broad City Live, which is great. It was friends of the pod, Abby something, and Alana Glazer. Abby, sorry, I forgot your last name. And they were great. And then on Saturday, I went to go see Nick Kroll and friends perform. And that was fantastic. They had a couple of guest stars who joined the ensemble, the Fouambois ensemble. A.D. Bryant from Saturday Night Live, who was me with a vagina. The chick from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Ellie Kemper, was there. It was just a really, really great night. And what they did was like so inspiring, because what I've been doing now since I've been doing improv is when I see someone do improv, I instantly feel the anxiety they must feel, and I try to think like, what would I do in this situation? And I literally just black out every time. Like I can't think of anything, and then I see them do it, and they don't even flinch, and they do such a good job. And everyone says that it comes from practice, but it's such a fucking hard thing to do. Like Nick Kroll went up there, and his whole bit was like he was going to select someone from the audience and bring her on stage, and he was asking her all these questions, which just like you didn't know why he was asking them, because her answers weren't funny, and you were like, where is this going, right? And at the end of like a 5 or 6 minute like interrogation, he told her, we're going to do a remake of the classic show This Is Your Life. He goes, I'm going to invite people onto the stage who you know from previous phases of your life. And all these people were waiting backstage to just come out and like improv and say, oh, I'm your college roommate. Oh, I'm your high school boyfriend. And it was one of the most entertaining shows I'd ever seen. It was so, I mean, I liked Nick Kroll to begin with from the Kroll Show, but just watching them do that was so inspiring. And I was
awesome.
like, I don't know how I'm gonna ever reach that level, but I've started randomly, like during hours where I'm not working at my job, I'll randomly give myself a suggestion and then try to brainstorm like ways I could work with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They also have, I was at the People's Improv Theater, and they have like drop-in improv classes for like $20. I think I might start doing those. Because I was just trying to think, like, how do you practice improv? Because it's like with stand-up comedy, you can like go to open mics. There's like open mics all the time, but are there always like random improv performances that you can go to?
There's improv shows you can go to anytime and check out at the UCB theaters. We should go to one together.
Yeah.
But then they have these improv jams where anyone in the room can get up and participate.
Cool. That'd be good. That'd be great.
We should do one of those too.
That's the type of thing where I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, oh, a drop-in improv class, I would never fucking do that. And then, of course, I'm like, well, now I have to do it because I said I would never do it.
The thing
That's terrifying to me. Improv is terrifying to me.
The thing is, the way I see improv is, I kind of liken it to stand-up comedy. When you have someone who's very, like, shticky in stand-up comedy, who goes up there and tells jokes like a hard punchline,
Yeah.
they're not funny, right? We have like a higher intelligence, and we don't find that stuff funny. And then you have people in improv who that's their sense of humor, who are very like, I'm gonna do this because it's like, it's so sticky, you know, like the Jay Leno versus Letterman,
Yeah.
right? Like Jay Leno, I never enjoyed, but Letterman is 10 times smarter and therefore funnier in my opinion. But when you have someone who does improv, you feel all this pressure to do that sticky stuff because you want that instant laugh. And you don't realize that if you just create a reality around you and act the way you would based on like the reality you and your partners have created in that scene, it can be so much funnier. It's not an instant laugh, but you build on it and then you have these like fucking great nuggets of laughter.
Right.
And so that's the one thing, because you go up there and you're like, fuck, the word is butcher. Like, how am I going to make this funny? Like, I don't know. And then you just think about it. You're like, all right, well, butchers exist in supermarkets, right? So you could do a scene around a supermarket and then just put yourself in the supermarket and think of shit that would happen there. Instead of like panicking and be like, butcher, salami. Everyone thinks the word salami is funny. Like, I gotta.
Right. And trying to like create an opportunity rather, because like you can make one funny comment about like everything, but like if it shuts the door, like my immediate reaction to butcher is like, butcher, I never even met her, but like that's stupid because like how are people going to play off of that? You know, that's only funny for me for that like 1 second, but in order to make it successful, you have to like open the door for other people to like build off of it.
Right, and let the situation be absurd rather than your
my one comment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like let the absurd let a realistic response to an absurd situation. There's opportunity for comedy.
Right.
It's not forced.
Not forced. Totes. What my pick of the week? You know what? My pick of the week is my iPhone 5C because look at it. That's the big. Yeah, I know. It looks like Leah's wearing an eye patch because I've dropped my phone so many fucking times and it's not in a case. And last night I dropped it and that black dot appeared. And then I was at an open mic and I dropped my phone in the toilet. And I pulled my phone out of the toilet. It was like still dripping and that black dot like migrated to the center of the screen. But it's still fucking working. It works. It still works. So, like, thank you, iPhone, for continuing to work, even though I treat you like garbage.
Can you get like a lanyard or something to wear around your neck?
That's so goofy.
Like a mentally disabled person might do with their house keys?
Nah, I'd rather just have a fucked up phone. I'm good.
Why is it that girls are always dropping their phones in the toilet? Guys never do that.
Because I put my phone in my back pocket and I have to pull my pants down and sit down. And so when I pull my pants down, it flies out of my pocket into the toilet.
You know what's funny? I'm such a germaphobe that even if the phone was really expensive and it fell in the toilet, I would just walk away from it. I would try flushing it, and I'm like, I don't want that phone.
Would you climb down on the subway tracks to get your phone?
No.
That's
I've thought about that. I don't know if I would. But
I definitely would not.
Like, so here's the thing. So here's my thought. This is a tangent, but so I think about this. I'm standing on the subway platform thinking, like, I'm pretty confident I could just hop down, grab it, and then, like, kind of shoulder roll back onto the platform.
You would be, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not 100% confident, and that would be a pretty fucking stupid way to go out. Like, that would be really inglorious. And I would be, you know, like, that's not how I would want Leah to remember me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would do it. I really am pretty confident I could do it, but it's just, you know.
I definitely wouldn't be able to. I'd be like Jerry O'Connell in Stand By Me, where they're on the train tracks and the train's coming. That's definitely what I would look like. But my bigger fear, rather than getting killed by the train, is the rats that are down there in the track.
I wouldn't want to like step on one.
Yeah.
That would be so gross. Remember when we used to walk through puddles? We would dare each other to walk through puddles, and then every once in a while you would step on a frog.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
That was the worst. Those frogs didn't like that at all.
I didn't like it either. I mean, I think it was worse for me than it was for them.
It was worse for you. I mean, they died instantly, or
Yeah.
at least they died brutally and painfully of a
Right.
broken spine.
But I have to like live with the like memory of having like a gross frog on my foot.
It's true.
It's way worse for me.
Are you talking about the frog tattoo you got on your foot?
On the bottom, yeah, exactly. It's a frog giving a peace sign.
It's the
Wearing John Lennon glasses. It's my foot tattoo that I got.
Does it? I think you need to get a sombrero on it.
Yes, I will. That'll like be the addendum to be. I'll be like, I need to get this tattoo fixed, and they'll be like, oh, good, covered over. I'm like, no, I need you to add a sombrero.
I need this frog to be on a seahorse.
Exactly.
So the other downside of this injury is that the funnier things are, the more it hurts.
Yeah, I had to. That's
That's right.
enjoyable for me. I like making you laugh and seeing you wince. So does Leah.
She does. Yeah, she
Loves
does.
it.
She's friggin' hilarious.
Yeah,
So
she
she's
really
been
is.
extra ticklish and funny.
Yeah.
It's like in the winter where your lips are super dry and you don't want to laugh or sneeze because you just know you're gonna rip the meat on your lips.
Totally.
Or like you eat a really big sandwich because the corners of your mouth are like
Yeah.
hurting, but
Yeah.
but you can't not eat the sandwich if you have it. What are you gonna do? Like deconstruct it? You have to
Right.
eat it.
Or when you have like a pimple, not on your nose, but like where your nostril meets your upper lip.
Right.
Like one of those. That's like a really sensitive spot for like one of those hard pimples that are hard to pop.
Right.
And then you try popping it and you just keep sneezing and then you ultimately just scrape it off and start bleeding.
That's a really specific incident, Bizzle. That's a very
It happens to
specific.
me all the time.
Have you ever been punched in the face and then tried to eat a sandwich?
No.
It sucks because you can only like if you get hit in the jaw, then your mouth is open, you kind of strain the jaw muscles like kind of get strained, and then you can't open your mouth very wide, but you want to eat a See, a lot of problems that I have sort of revolve around inability to eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
But like if you get punched in the face and then you want to eat a sandwich, you can't because it's hard to fit. So what you end up doing is like trying to make the squish down part of it so you can make like a ramp so you can like spread your mouth with the sandwich. It sucks though.
That sucks. You can never eat a sourdough sandwich because you can't.
I've never
squish
been
them.
punched in the face.
Really?
No.
I feel like that's a life experience everyone should have.
I know. I feel like I missed out.
I've definitely been like whacked in the face so that my like eyes watered, but I think it just was like getting hit in the face with like a fucking dodgeball or something.
I will say that I think it was like probably 2006, 2007. For some reason, I don't know why, but I had always been one of those people who envied other people when they saw, instead of seeing a movie, they'd say, I'm going to read the book and then see the movie. Because I'm the type of person who doesn't read and I just watch movies. And I got the idea that for $1 Million Baby, I would read the book before seeing the movie because the movie got such great reviews. And I got the book and read it, and I became obsessed with boxing, but like fake obsessed because like, oh, this is so great because the book was good. And I was like, I'm gonna get into boxing. I'm gonna go to like one of these gyms in the city and like start boxing and like, are you fucking kidding? 2006 Byram, shut the fuck up.
I think I did the same thing in like 2009. I bought like
What
definitely
was I thinking?
right. Are you kidding? 2006 Bizzle.
Oh my god, I hate 2006 Bizzle.
I love 2006 Bizzle.
With my like wide boot cut jeans.
Stovepipe. They call them stovepipe.
Stovepipes.
All right. On that fashion note, I am gonna get in the shower.
All right, guys, love you.
Hey,
Love
this was a
you.
good pod today. I felt a
Yeah.
lot of energy here, and I think this was
Yeah.
good.
Totes.
Let's throw up today so the bags can listen to it. It'll induce labor for Martha Jane.
Yes.
Yay, Jane, baby Jane.
You should. Facts.
Love ya.
Later, dudes.
Bye.